Hey guys, it's Troy here. Let's play with something new. How about a pen that I just got here in the mail? And I decided to go ahead and dig it out, play with it. I'm the type who I get something new, I gotta play with my new toy. So here it is. Pentel. You know, that name has been around a long time when it comes to pens. And I ran across this one on the website Mercari. And that's where I've picked up a bunch of pens, not necessarily on the cheap, but on the affordable side. And this particular pen, the Tradio, is a fountain pen put out by Pentel. And, you know, I wasn't really familiar with it, so I bought it on a whim just to see what it was like. And it was fairly inexpensive. I paid $9 plus shipping for this. But the Tradio is still out there, and it is still available. For instance, you can find it online, but, I'd be honest with you, I've been seeing it for 30 bucks. I'm like, this is not a $30 pen as far as I am concerned. After having taken it out, played with it, and written with it, no, it's not a $30 pen for certain. But it is still out there, it is still available. Now when you look at the Pentel website, according to their website, this particular pen was no longer available, at least not for sale, I'm assuming, but it also lists it for about a $15 price tag. Okay, a little more affordable as far as I'm concerned. So, here's what you get. You get a box that kind of looks like this. Obviously, it would be hanging like in an office supply store, that kind of thing. And it was made for that kind of distribution. And smooth, elegant writing. Is it? We shall find out. But it is blue ink. It does have a medium nib on it. And it does have one cartridge that it came with, for certain. So, here's what the box looks like over here. Pretty much says the same thing. And then you look, hey, it's a great gift for any occasion. It's got a well-balanced barrel for maximum comfort and control. Modern and sophisticated styling adds a touch of elegance to your writing. Uses international cartridge, long or short. It does take also international converter if you want. I did go ahead and try it. And I was able to get an international converter, but I decided to go ahead and use the cartridge that came with it. So it does have a long cartridge in it. Stainless steel nib produces smooth flowing lines, and it gives you the instructions on how to do it. Pentel.com, their website, and it's interesting here, made in France. Well, that's kind of interesting because you look at the pen itself, it actually says something different on it. A whole different part of the world. So this is what it looks like when it shows up. So you open the thing up. All right, so here you go. You got a box that is like this. So you do have, if you wanted to close it up in a box, you can do so. But you've got this little, you can't say it's a pillow, but this little card thing with a little band here that it just sits in. That's all there is to it. So you pull it out, and this one is white. According to websites where they are available, I see that they have them in black, and the Pentel website had it in silver. So you pull it out. It's an all-plastic pen. Here you've got Tradio by Pentel, and you have not an ink window, but a nib window, which is a little bit different. I'm not used to seeing nib windows. And you look here, the only thing that it says right here, Pentel, not France, Japan. So apparently it's manufactured in Japan instead. So, you know, not a bad length, you know, not a bad typical type of pen. So it does have a snap cap to it. You can post it, and it posts nicely, snugly, deeply. It's a fairly lightweight pen. I mean, it's less than half an ounce all total overall weight. I do like the length of that. That seems to fit in my hand fairly well. Fairly smooth section here, and you do have a tiny little step down here at the end towards the nib, and it does have an iridium point nib according to it. I'll show you a better picture of that particular nib. And when you go to put in a cartridge or a converter, there you go, and that is the blue cartridge that it came with. So it is an international standard long cartridge that was included in it, and I did just decide to use it instead of filling it up with the converter. So there you go. You know, and a little band here, a little silver banding for trim, nothing special, but you can see, you know, at the base of the section, that's where the base of the barrel comes together, so you've got the silver trim lining up with that silver trim. And snap. Nice, firm snap. So, is it any good though? A $9 Pentel fountain pen. Pentel not really known for fountain pens, more known for like gel pens, roller balls, and ballpoints. Well, let's go ahead and give it a try. And I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll show you how it stacks up to other pens that are in its money class as well as size class. We'll give you a writing sample, and I'll give you some details, some specifics about this particular pen. You have more details than you ever wanted to know about the Pentel Tradio. Here you go. Here's how it looks compared to some other pens that are somewhat in its class. Let's start out with a Jinhao 250. You know, it's a metal pen, and in terms of quality, probably fairly similar to it, but a little cheaper actually than the Tradio is. A Parker Vector, if you wanted something that's a little smaller in terms of its girth. Let's go look at a Lamy Safari. Monteverde Monza. I thought about just grabbing a Jinhao 992, but because like it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned. But that's a Monteverde Monza. The ubiquitous and always required Pilot Metropolitan, and then you've got the Pentel Tradio. So there you go. Plastic pens, some metal pens, all in comparison, and roughly within the same class as the Tradio by Pentel. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way. So I've already shown you the nib. I've shown you the ink cartridge. I've shown you that it posts. Let's go ahead and give it the test, the writing test, because a pen is only as good, as far as I'm concerned, as how well it writes, regardless of the price point. I've had expensive pens that wrote horribly. I've had cheap pens that wrote very well. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. So the Pentel Tradio. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. It says smooth, elegant writing. I will tell you that I've been playing with this pen since I got it, and it actually is fairly smooth. Believe it or not, it is not the smoothest pen in the world. I've got smoother pens than the Tradio, but it's actually fairly smooth. And when you put it on a Rhodia dot pad, it certainly is very smooth. So it's actually smooth writing. Elegant, I wouldn't say it's elegant, but I mean it's fairly stylish looking, and it fits well in the hand. And so far, and I haven't had a lot of experience with it yet, but it's done fairly well with anything that I've written thus far. The real test will come when I start using it much deeper, much further as a daily writer, start carrying it with me and start doing letters, which I just finished writing all my pen pals. So all you pen pals, write back so I can write back using this and I can tell you better. But anyway, so you get a medium steel nib. 2 E's in steel there, Troy. And this is the blue cartridge that comes with it. And it's a supplied cartridge. I have no idea who makes that cartridge. It's a very rigid nib. And to me, rigid nibs are not necessarily a bad thing. I don't necessarily want flex. You're not going to get a whole lot of line variation out of it, but it's still a wet enough nib to be able to put down a sufficient amount of ink. I've got no problem reading that. I've got no problem being able to call that a decent... It's on the fine side of medium, but it's still a medium nib, and it actually does fairly well. If you wanted to do some reverse writing, I will tell you that is one of the smoothest reverse writing nibs that I have ever used right there, which was a surprise to me. when I started to play with it. It's like, reverse writing is actually smoother than I expected. But you've got an extra fine line there. So, I've got no complaints about it. What little writing I've done with it since I've gotten this particular pen has been similar to what you see here. It's actually been reliable for the little amount that I've been using it. And it's actually fairly smooth. It does say smooth, elegant writing, and I'll give it that. It is smooth writing. Is it worth it for $9? Absolutely. This to me is worth a $9 price tag. Plus obviously a little bit of sales tax and under $4 shipping to get it to me. Is it worth the $15 suggested MSRP from Pentel? Yeah, it's pushing it at that price point, I think. But for the quality and reliability, okay, I can see that. Is it worth the $30 price tag that's out there by some retailers? I don't think so. Not for the quality of construction that you've got. Now, I will say this writes better than some $100 pens that I've got. So if you're just looking in terms of the quality of its writing, yeah, okay, I can see that. But in terms of, its construction, its intrinsic value, nah, it's not worth $30. I mean, I do like some things about it. I like the style of it. I like how that clip is kind of molded into that cap. It's not an addition onto it, and you've got that neat mold here all the way around that. So it looks like it's all one piece, and it was injection molded that way. That's what it looks like. I may be wrong, but the clip is usable and serviceable. So it's a fairly stiff clip, and it's a plastic clip, and it's kind of decently constructed. So I'll give it this. It is a good-looking pen. Not the ink window, but a nib window. Okay, that's kind of an interesting concept too. And is it eyedropperable? Yeah, actually, you can probably eyedropper this bad boy if you would just put some silicone grease on it. Don't put in the cartridge. My understanding, and when I read the specs on it, that it is eyedropperable. So it's it's worth playing. If you can find one fairly cheap online, why not? It's worth the $10 and under price tag. And so far, so good with the Pentel Tradio.